Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I'm smiling because I'm having a I don't wanna day. So everything that I'm thinking of doing, I start moving towards it. And then I stop myself and say, I don't wanna. So I was just about to make some homemade onion dip, and I had already caramelized the onions a couple days ago, and I keep looking at the recipe and I'm like, I don't wanna. So I got out some honey mustard Ruffles potato chips and I ate those. And then I was like, you know what you need to do right now? You need to go record your podcast because you don't wanna, because you're having a I don't wanna day. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, those I don't wanna days. And I've done a lot for an I don't wanna day. I cleaned my shower. I cleaned the bathroom floor in the foyer. Actually, I cleaned the whole bathroom in the foyer, and I wiped down the bathroom up here on the third floor. So that's a lot for an I don't want a day. And then we have these robot vacuums and a robot mopper. And it's, I can't think of what they're called. Anyway, we have those in several of our rooms. So I vacuumed. That counts as me vacuuming. I push the button to turn on the vacuuming robot. So now I'm here and I'm going to record, and I wanna record. It's just that I have this like lack of I'm blah, I'm blah. It's an I don't want a day. So we're going to keep moving forward on this I don't want a day. On a day like this, what I want to do is I want to crawl into bed and cuddle with my puppies, but I'm not going to do that. I even took a walk with Autumn today in the early morning. I did not carry my my rucking backpack because I said I don't wanna. So we still walked the same distance. It's about a mile. And but I didn't want to do that. I don't know what's going on with me today, but we're going to keep going forward. So today I wanna talk about humility. Let me see, where's my outline? Humility, misunderstood, and letting me be enough. And this is a great day for this topic. I don't want a day is a great day for talking about having like distorted goals and impossible standards, and accepting that an I don't want a day is okay. It's okay to have an I don't want a day. But the first thing I wanted to do, because humility is going to be somewhere mixed into this topic, I wanted to define, you're welcome, humility for you. Because I'll tell you, I know what it means, but for some reason I have to always look up the definition because I don't know. I need to be grounded in the exact definition before I start talking about it. So I'm going to give you two definitions. One says humility is a modest or low view of one's own importance. Humbleness. I don't like the definition including low view of one's importance, because I don't think that's what humility is. I think it's having an accurate, and this is the second definition, having an accurate opinion of oneself and expressing oneself modestly as situations demand, having clear goal orientation, openness, broad-mindedness, and a non-imposing mentality. For me, humbleness is, or humility is staying in my own space, keeping my mind where my feet are, and not getting out of my lane, um, accepting who I am, where I am, and my role as a human among other human beings. So, what I thought when I first started my sobriety program was that humility was humiliation because they have the same root, and that's not what it is, but that's what it felt like even. And that's why I always have to go back to the definition, because when I first was kind of told what humility is and started learning the definition and learning it in action, learning the definition, it really felt like I was humiliated to know that I wasn't practicing this my whole life. I was humiliated in how selfish I had been. So humility felt a little bit like humiliation to me, but that's not what it is. Humility is having an honest self-awareness. Humility is actually seeing the truth about who we are, right? Seeing ourselves clearly without an exaggeration or denial of anything about ourselves. And for so long, like this ego thing that I was also introduced to in tandem with this, I didn't think I had a big ego. But there's a lot of secret ways that our ego slivers its way into our lives. And on what I'm thinking of right now when I say the word sliver, I'm thinking of the monster on Monsters Inc. I don't know what his name is, Slugsworth or something like that. Anyway, he's like the main opponent, I guess, to the nice monsters at Monsters Inc. Monsters Incorporated. And that's what my ego, he is ego. Really? His character is the definition of ego, right? Because he's slithering around and he thinks that he's the best scarer there is. But so maybe he needs to practice some humility. And that's as he goes in and scares all of these little kids, he has really high standards for himself. And if you've seen the movie Monsters Inc. and you know how he gets himself all pumped up and he goes in and he scares the living bejesus out of these kids. And then he comes out and the door shuts and everybody's like cheering him on. And he's like, yeah, 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 I'm the best scarer there is. That's really, I guess, how I had been approaching my career and my life. And I was really just having these high standards for myself. I've talked about this before, having these high standards for myself, but not doing the work to live up to those, right? I was setting myself up with these impossible standards, and my expectations for myself were so high that really those expectations in themselves were harming me by me just setting them. And recognizing now that I was setting unrealistic goals, for me, it was deceiving myself into thinking that I was a really motivated person. But being motivated is not setting the goals. Being motivated is making progress towards the goal, towards the goals. So this morning, some of this was talked about in my meeting, and then somebody mentioned steps 6 and 7 in relation to this. And so, step 6 is being entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. And step 7 is humbly asking Him to remove our shortcomings. So, like I was talking about, this ego slithers its way into our different facets of our lives in ways that we don't even understand or we don't notice. That urge to be like a perfectionist is actually a character defect that is rooted in ego and fear. Because I'm setting myself up for failure. It's rooted in fear, yet the very fear that it's rooted in is where I'm destined to go because I'm never gonna be perfect. So having the willingness in step 6, having the willingness to release control, to be entirely ready to not be perfect. That is, I'm not lowering my standards. Maybe I am lowering my standards and it's a good thing, but I am putting my expectations in a place that are achievable, and in a way I can win and I can succeed. And that is something to celebrate, giving myself the opportunity to celebrate. And what I heard somebody else say this morning was, I don't have to hit it out of the park every day. That's what I heard. And I thought, yeah, I totally wrote that down because I was like, yeah, I felt like I needed to be the best. I needed to surpass everybody else who was my peer. What can I do today to be great? And I still do that. I still do it in stroke recovery. It's wild to me. I was sharing about it this morning. It's wild to me that these character defects will, again, slither their way into our lives no matter what the situation is. I can either be a hardworking, career-oriented, like I used to call myself, woman who reached the point of being a director, and I loved it. I was a people leader. I loved to like spread joy and spread inspiration. Like that was my thing. That was my shtick. I always wanted to show up to work thinking, what can I do today to be great? And yet here I am with the same mentality. I don't have a career anymore. I'm learning how to accept that. But what I did this morning, I forgot about this, in my I don't wanna attitude, I went on to Etsy and I uploaded like 5 new crafts that I had completed and put them into my product line on Etsy. Side note, check it out. But I did that with the mindset of how can I try to express this? It's like I did that with the mindset of I still want to show other people the great things that I'm doing. It's a character defect, and I don't mind admitting it. I'm good with admitting any of these character defects that I have because I know that I'm not unique. I know I'm not alone. But what can I do to do some sort of craft and let it be let the joy that I get from it be enough? What can I do to have the small efforts, like I have this new bracelet that I just finished. I didn't put this on Etsy yet, and if you are looking at the video, I'm holding it up. I think I may have shown it the other day. It's a wooden bracelet that has little metal inlays in the shape of like almost flowers a little bit. Anyway, it was broken and some of the metal fell out. So I used wood filler and painted all of it, all of the inlays gold. And it's like new again. And I'm going to put it on Etsy, but this bracelet in particular, the reason why I'm using this one is that I felt very rewarded coming up with the idea of using wood filler to fill in the gaps where the metal had fallen out and then paint them with gold paint. I thought that was brilliant. That was brilliant that I came up with that. And in a way, I want to keep it to remind myself that I came up with that idea. And I don't necessarily want to share that. That is what I'm talking about, is how can I let little victories like that, little small efforts be enough? And the reward that I get just from feeling like I solved a problem, how can I have that be enough in more areas in my life? And I think the start to do that is just awareness. Just by talking about it right now, realizing that what was my mentality when I was putting all this stuff on Etsy. And I think some of the crafts, I put some earrings up there and I put a couple sketches up there that are framed. And as I put each one up there, I was feeling very rewarded. I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe I drew this. I sketched this. It's amazing. But I want to do something with it. I want to share it. I want to be great. Is that so bad? I want somebody to come and be like, that's what she was meant to do. She's meant to be an artist. Who doesn't want that? But I feel like I want it all the time. I feel like every little thing I do, I want to be great at it. And I think that it's to the point that it's a character defect. So step 7 tells me to humbly ask God to remove that. Get humble, right? Humility includes asking for help and not feeling like it's got to be me, that I have got to knock it out of the park, knock everything out of the park. And I think humility tells me that I should probably talk to my psychiatrist about acknowledging that I have that mindset, that I want, because the only reason I feel like it's something that I need to talk about and that it might be a problem is because I keep feeling like it's leaving me lacking. It's leaving me, what's the word that I used earlier? It's leaving, it's setting me up. It's harming me. It's rooted in fear and ego. I think some of that fear is that I'm going to just fade into the background of the world. And I don't like to be there. I used to be in drama. I like to be on the stage. Can you believe that? So learning how to let go of that stuff, be gentle with myself, but still press forward. Balancing acceptance of where I'm at and who I am with a commitment to keep doing things like this that make me feel good, and knowing what I can do and what I can't do, and looking at the things that I can't do as room for growth. You that have been listening for a long time know that when I first started getting out there and started walking again with Autumn, I could only walk around the block. And I was feeling really discouraged because I just kept thinking of how far I used to walk, that I used to run, that I used to do an hour of hot yoga every day. And I kept comparing myself to who I used to be. And I was feeling really, my ego was in the way. I had a lot of fear in the way. And I was setting myself up for failure every day when I was thinking, like, I should be able to do that again. I should be further along. I should be able to do yoga. I'm not even doing hot yoga anymore. I should be able to do it for an hour. I should be able to do it for 20 minutes. I should be able to do this pose. I mean, it goes on and on. And being able to let go of that disappointment and keeping dignity, like reframing that self talk. Stop being so feeling self pity, because that is really resistance. That's what that is. It's resistance to growth. And it can look like self awareness a little bit, but it's like, yeah, I'm aware of what I'm doing and I beat myself up for it. Like my response is nothing but negative. So, what this morning's meeting talked about, I can't find my words, is thinking small, keeping humility in the way that I'm, I guess, recognizing what my limitations are and having peace with that. Like humility brings peace in those limitations, not shame. Understanding it's really getting down to the truth about what has happened to me and accepting that I'm in recovery and I will be for the rest of my life. I still haven't gotten to that point. I'm telling you, like I keep thinking, oh, I've accepted it. I'm good. I've accepted that I had a stroke, that I'm disabled, blah, blah, blah. But it's a battle every day. You know, for those of you who are in stroke recovery, have a vestibular disorder, or are recovering from alcoholism, they are limitations and they are things that can leave us feeling a lot of self pity. And we need to talk about it so that it doesn't turn into shame. Let today's efforts be enough. If I don't wanna, that's enough. Because, you know, I'm talking about over and over today about having an I don't wanna day. Have I stopped once to recognize that maybe I don't wanna because I'm in stroke recovery? Not at all. I haven't recognized that I'm in recovery. I haven't recognized that I'm a stroke survivor today. And that's why I come show up here so that I can talk it out, so I can get through all of these things that I learned in sobriety that mirror my stroke recovery, and talk them out and and start putting humility into the equation so that I can remember that I need to stay teachable, I need to stay reachable, I need to keep myself open to growing. And when I trade my self-pity for honesty, then it just relieves all the weight off of my shoulders and I walk a little bit lighter. So, just for today, we went from having an I don't want a day to remembering that we're in recovery today. And that's enough. That's enough. Being me is enough today. And I'm going to accept that. And if I, it's almost 4 o'clock and I was gonna start painting this bracelet. I'm going to paint a beach scene on it. But I don't wanna. So I'm gonna go lay down. I'm gonna go lay down. That's what my insides are telling me that I want to do, and my brain is telling me, no, keep going, keep going. You shouldn't lay down. And I'm going to do the next right thing. So thanks for showing up for me today. Thanks for showing up for you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.